Hey guys, how's it going? So just before the review starts, I just want to apologise that it's taken about a week to get up. After I did that little update video, I wanted to wait a couple days just to see if people did want to see like season reviews, stuff like that. Uh, it was really nice to see a lot of people saying yes, they would like to see it, they'd like to hear my opinions, all that sort of stuff. So that was really great. I saw those and I was like, all right, sweet, I'll record it and we'll get straight into it. But then the problem was, like a couple days after I did that update video, I guess hay fever just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like I was non-stop coughing, non-stop sneezing for 5 days. Like in 5 days, I went through 4 boxes of tissues. So yeah, so that's why these videos taken so long to be made. But I'm feeling a lot better now. Like the nose is clear, the throat's clear. So yeah, with all that said, again, sorry it's taken me about a week to get this video up and up and done, but we're here now, so yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so for those of you that don't know, I am a Bulldog supporter. I have been since, how old have I been? Since I was 10 years old. So, I watch their games, every week in, week out, and I really sort of like look into the specifics. I try to figure out the specifics of what's going on in the team. So what I'm going to do for this review is I'm hopefully going to keep to a bit of a schedule, because when it comes to rugby league, I can just ramble. I can ramble for hours. So I'm hoping not to do that. I'm hoping to keep this a relatively well-structured video. So first I'm going to talk about just the Bulldogs' attack and defence this season, how I think they did. I want to talk about a couple specific individual players, some youngsters coming through, and then just my overall thoughts on the season. And so if you're wondering why I sort of look off to the side over here, it's because I just have a list of stats that I'm going to talk through and all that sort of stuff, just to sort of try to keep me on track. It'll be the stats that you guys see either there or there. I don't know like where it's going to be in the edit. But yeah, so like if you're wondering why I sort of look off to the side, that's why. Alright. So to start off with, 79% completion rate, 79.9%. Alright, best in the league. When you have a completion rate like that, you should be winning most games. Like that's just a fact of the matter. You should be winning most games. Like, it's a stereotype, but it's true. Like if you deprive the other team of having the ball, and if you complete all your sets without giving up the ball in easy positions, you should be winning your games. Obviously, that's not what's happened, because as you can see by the stats, what was it? So 340 points scored, 710 against. We scored 60 tries, conceded 121. So that's literally like the points we conceded is double what we scored, which just isn't good enough. All right, our average run meters was extremely. I can't remember the exact stat, but I know it's in like the bottom 10 of run meters, and then obviously average points we are at the bottom. Like that's just not good enough. And then offloads 15th in the league. Again, that's just not good enough. All right, but the thing is, and I know it's going to sound a bit controversial, I'm not upset with the Bulldogs' attack this season, and I'll explain why. All right, so under Dean Pay, the Bulldogs had this horrible issue of we had no structure in attack. Right, we'd get the ball into the final 20, 30 meters, right, an attacking set, and we would just have no clue what to do. Like, it would be hit up 4 times, kick it somewhere, right, and hope for the best, right? At least this season under Barrett, while we may not have scored a lot of points still, we did score more tries this season than we did in any season under Dean Pay. But, we conceded more, and I'll get into that a bit later. But, we scored more points, scored more tries than we did this season than we did under Dean Pay. And that is because it's clear Barrett has a structure that he's trying to put into place. And when it works, it works. Like, I know it's not really the best example, but against the Tigers, right? Like, they had the structure, they played to the structure, and, we thrashed them, what was it, 36-0, 34-0, something like that? Like, we destroyed them because, they played to the structure and it worked. All right, so I'm happy with that, but the biggest issue is defense. Like, at least under Dean Pay, what we could say as a club was that our defense was strong. Like, it was hard to break us down. Under Barrett, that's not the case. Right? It seems like Barrett has gone so far trying to fix the attack that he has just ignored defense, and our defense has just become abysmal. Right? Like there were games where I'd sit there watching, we'd have our winger 3 people in defending against, like the fullback sweeping around. So there was always like a 2-3 man overlap. And you sit there watching it and you're like, how? Like it's just basic numbers, like it shouldn't be that difficult. So, I don't know if his plan is he wants them to get up and slide, if he wants them like to try and just, race in, shut it down early. But it seemed like whichever one he wanted them to do, no one was on the same page about doing it. So I think for the Dogs next year, the biggest thing is defense. Like if the Bulldogs don't get their defense into play, it doesn't matter how many points we score. Like, we're getting Burton, Burton, Adokar. We're getting all of these like good players, Naden. We're getting all these great attacking players, but that's not going to make a difference if they never get the ball because we're constantly defending because we can't stop the other team from scoring because we keep giving them the ball back, So for me, defense is the biggest issue. But, like I said, attack, I'm not ecstatic about it, obviously, because we definitely need to be scoring more points. But the fact that there was a structure in place, it shows me that, they are building towards something, they are working towards something. So I was okay with that. But yeah, overall, attack and defense, it's it's what you expect. I don't think anyone expected the Bulldogs to come out and be a force this season. Like anyone that sat there thinking Barrett coming in will turn us into like a top 8 side, make us an attacking weapon was just idiotic. Like it's just stupid. Like we don't have the spine. We didn't have the spine. We don't have the. I don't want to say the passion because the passion was always there, but yeah, we didn't have the players to execute, unfortunately. But yeah, so that's attack and defense. It is what it is. It's what most people probably would have expected this season, but yeah, it is what it is. So next, I want to talk about specific individuals within the club, like players specifically, not like board members or any crap like that. I try not to look into all that. I rather just focus on the team and what's happening out on the field. Oh, excuse me. All right, so first I do want to talk about Coach Barrett. Like I said before, I think his attacking ideas and his attacking structures are good, but his defense is very lackluster. He needs a lot of help when it comes to running a defense. Like, if I were the Dogs, what I personally would have done is, sign on Barrett as the head coach by all means, but I would have had Dean Pay as an assistant coach just there to help work with the defense. Because, under Dean Pay, our defense, again, like I said before, it was strong. Like, sure, we didn't score a lot of points, but we also conceded a lot less than what we did this year. So that's what I think. I think Barrett definitely needs a lot of work on his defense. Do I think he's the coach to take the Bulldogs forward in the next couple of years? Honestly, I don't know. I really don't know. If he can get the right players into his team to work his system, then by all means, I think he could lead us to the top 8. Like, I do think that because, you saw it at Penrith, like it's been, said by many people that Barrett was, a big part of Penrith's attack and building their attack. So if he does get the right players, the players that fit his system, excuse me, then yeah, definitely he could get us into the top 8. But, if he's, if not Penrith, if Manly are anything to go off, then yeah, no, I'm not too sure. Because I think he's a good coach, but he's not a good manager. Right? And what I mean by that is, a coach can go out there, with the ideas, the attacking ideas, set up plays, set up the systems, all that sort of stuff. But a manager covers everything behind the scenes, like, making sure the players are all on the same page, make sure everyone's happy, man management, all these sort of things. I don't think Barrett can do that, which is why I think he was such a success at Penrith, because he was literally just like their attacking coach. Basically, that was his focus. He didn't have to worry about making sure the players were happy. He didn't have to worry about this and that and the other thing. It was just, no, I focus on the attack. I think that's where Barrett's best at. So, yeah, no, I don't know if he's the player to lead us forward, the coach to lead us forward. He might be, but only time will tell. At the moment, I'm skeptical. If I'm being honest, I'm very skeptical. All right, wait. I had to quickly go and check something because my dogs were going mental. All right. So what are we up to? Kyle Flanagan. I feel sorry for the kid. I think he's talented. I think he's very talented. But I think, unfortunately, the game has passed him by. And what I mean by that is I think Kyle is part of a dying breed of playmaker in today's game where I think he wants to be an organiser. But unfortunately, you can't just be an organiser in today's game anymore. You need to be able to run. You need to be able to run as well as set up plays and organise the team. So I think that's the problem for Kyle. I think if he were to go over to England, right, where the game is still a bit more like the older days, if you will, like a few years back, I think he'd be a rousing success. I think he'd be fantastic over in England. But yeah, unfortunately, I think the NRL's passed him by, which is unfortunate because he seems like a good kid. Next, we'll talk about JMK, Jeremy Marshall-King. He's such an important player for this squad. When he came back from injury, like at the start of this season, it was a world of difference. Like the way that he was able to just help control the ruck, free up Avarillo, free up, our halves and, our forwards and all that. It was fantastic. I don't think he gets enough credit for what he does for the club, what he does for the squad. But yeah, I think he is a pivotal part of our team moving forward, especially next year, because he'll be the most experienced in our spine next year, I believe. Maybe Dufty will be, but I think it'll be Marshall-King that'll be the most experienced in our spine. Yeah, so he will be a crucial role. I think he's a fantastic player. I do feel bad for him because I don't think he's a dummy half, but he's done a fantastic job in a dummy half. But yeah, I think the fact that he's been sort of just shoved in there and hope for the best, he's made the most of it and he's done really good with it. So yeah, moving forward, I think he's definitely our number 9 with the young fella Cook coming off the bench. I think that'll be a really devastating combination. So that'll be really good to see next year. Next, we've got 2 players. We've got Tomo and Hetherington, our 2 front rowers. If these 2 could learn to keep their heads on, they could, without a doubt, be the most devastating front row pairing in the NRL. If it wasn't for all the suspensions and they played, every game this season, I have no doubt in my mind that we would have won at least maybe 2 or 3 more games. Because just what they do with the ball in hand, the amount of meters they gain, the fear they put in the defence is incomparable. It's immeasurable. They are fantastic footballers. I think Tomo is the better of the 2, but I do think Hetherington has some untapped potential that if he can find it, if he can learn to control his aggression and use it in the right way, he could easily be proper the year. Genuinely, he has that ability. He has that skill. So yeah, next year, I don't know how next year's going to go because apparently Tomo might not be playing because of, he doesn't want to get a vaccination or something like that. I don't know. So, if they're both there next year and they can both sort of knuckle down and learn to use their aggression positively, then yeah, we could have one of the most devastating front row pairings in the competition, without a doubt. All right, next is Meaney. I feel bad for Meaney, man. He wasn't given the right opportunity at Bulldogs, and I think that's just clear as day for anyone to see. He got brought in. He got brought in from Newcastle to play fullback. He played 8 or 9 games at fullback. I thought he was fantastic at fullback. But then what happens? We go panic and we go by Dallin Watene-Zelezniak. And he gets thrown in a fullback. And Meaney just, unfortunately, gets chucked out on the wing, which I don't think he deserved at all. Alright, from there, obviously, DWZ did not perform. So Meaney got put back into fullback. And again, he performed well. But then Hopper came back and Hopper got thrown into fullback. Alright, so again, Meaney unjustly just got kicked out of his position, right? And then when Hopper didn't work out again, Meaney got put back in there, played well again, and then we go and sign Corey Allen. Corey Allen got put into fullback, got injured, right? And again, Meaney did nothing wrong. He didn't deserve to get dropped from fullback. So Corey Allen comes in. He does decent. He does decent. But then Meaney gets put back in. And in my opinion, Meaney was our best player this year. I think he was our most consistent. I think if he was to have played fullback his whole time at the Bulldogs, we wouldn't have signed Dufty, and we would not have shipped him on to the Storm. I think at Storm he will set the world ablaze. Like, I know he'll probably be playing in the reserves, but just being in that system, being in that structure, like just learning from the best, Bellamy, like learning from the best, Meaney's going to turn into an absolutely incredible player. And I guarantee it will be another Damien Cook situation where, 1 or 2 years down the line, we're sitting there looking at it saying, we had him. Why did we get rid of him? Like, why did we not give him the opportunities that he earned? Like, ultimately, he earned them. Like Meaney, like I said, every time he played fullback, he was fantastic. But every single time, we just said, nah, we'll give it to someone else and we'll chuck Meaney on the wing. That's fine. So, yeah, for me, he was our player of the season. I hate that he's left, but I'm also happy that he's left because now he's finally going to get put into a proper system and given proper opportunities in his preferred position. And I think he will excel down in Melbourne. And lastly, we will talk about Captain Fantastic, Josh Jackson. Oh, man, this guy is the heart and soul of this club. He's too good for the Bulldogs. Like, genuinely. He is the sort of player that should be competing for premierships every single season just because of the amount of effort he puts in. Right? And I know a lot of people have been saying recently, he's been crap, he's been shit, that's why he got dropped from State of Origin. It's like, yeah, you'd be playing shit too in a team that has no system, in a team that has no structure, in a team where a second rower like him is the one that's expected to do everything. You'd struggle as well. But still, week in, week out, he fucking, body on the line, heart on the line, soul on the line. I don't think you can get a better captain for the Bulldogs at the moment than Jacko. He is incredible. No, he's too good for the club. That's just a fact. He's too good for the club at the moment. All right, next I just want to talk about a couple of youngsters coming through. All right, we'll start with Averillo. I don't know what to do with Averillo. Does he play halfback next year with Burton coming in? Because for me personally, I would love to see Averillo at fullback. Personally, I would love to see him just have the freedom to roam, get involved when he wants to, and just play off the cuff. I think in the halves we're limiting him, massively limiting him. Especially with this next guy, I'm probably going to pronounce it wrong, so I'm sorry. Biondioto. I think he should be our halves pairing with Burton next year. I think Biondioto should be in 6, Burton in 7, with Averillo at fullback. That's what I would be running. Because I think Biondioto has shown he is talented. He is a good player. He's been coming off the bench, playing at 9, playing at 6, playing at 7, and every single time he's put in a shift and a half. He's been fantastic. Right, so I think both of them, obviously, should be starting next year. Whether that'll happen, I doubt it. Right, I think Averillo will be 7 with Biondioto probably on the bench, probably playing as the 14 again. That'd be my guess. It's not what I personally would do, but it's just my guess what would happen. But yeah, either way, both of them need to be playing. They are both fantastic players. They are both the future of the club, without a doubt. Next player is Shop. I feel bad for him. I feel sorry for him because I don't know if he makes the squad next year. I don't know if he starts. Just with all the backs we have, with everyone we've signed, I don't know if he starts. I want him to start, and I think he deserves it. He's earned it without a shadow of a doubt. He was one of our better players this year. But whether he starts or not, I don't know. Because we brought in Naden, he plays centre. We've got Corey Allen there, he plays centre on wing. We've got Ockenbaugh, Kotrick, Adokar coming in. We've got a lot of outside backs. There's 1 or 2 I'm forgetting off the top of my head. There's a lot of outside back, and someone's going to have to make way. And I'm concerned that Shopper's going to be the one that does. I don't want him to, but I just feel like that's what's going to happen. And I don't agree with it. I think he's earned his position. He played, phenomenally this year. and he's earned his position. But, only time will tell with him, we'll see. And then the last youngster is Torpeny. I think that's how you pronounce it, Torpeny. Another really good player, another really good youngster. I think his biggest issue is just how versatile he is. Like, because, you could chuck him in at 13, you could chuck him in at lock, I reckon you could probably chuck him in at centre, you could chuck him in at hooker. Like, he's so versatile that I think that's going to be his undoing. Because, well, I think he's a second rower personally. But I think what's going to happen is he's just going to be a resis player that whenever we're short a position somewhere, he's just going to get chucked in there. Which I think will completely stunt his potential and his growth. Like it's all well and good having versatile players, but, every player has their position. It's all about finding it. And yeah, I hope it doesn't happen, but I can see Torpeny being just a resi there. It sort of like just gets chucked in. It's like, oh, we're missing a second rower this time. Torpeny, you're going on the bench playing second row today. Oh, we're missing a hooker. Torpeny, you're going on the bench playing hooker today. I see that happening and I don't like it because I feel like it's really going to stunt his growth. But overall, these four guys, they're the future of the club. Without a doubt. With the people we've brought in, they're the future. And the future does look bright. And yeah, right. So just, overall season review. Obviously, we got the wooden spoon. That's, crap. But in reality, I think it was expected. Most people that follow rugby league, they probably would have looked at the side and said, yep, look, it's not good enough. Be lucky to win 3 games, which is what happened. I think we won 2. And, I think the wooden spoon was inevitable. And as as painful as it is to say that, it's just a fact. The wooden spoon, it was inevitable. And, that is what it is. But, although we did win the spoon, like I said earlier in the attack and defence stuff, there are structures being put into place, which is a positive. It's good to see. Structures are being built for the future. And then with the signings that we've made, hopefully that structure can come to fruition. I don't think the Dogs will be competing for the top 8 next year, if I'm being realistic. I think we'll be in that sort of 10 to 12 area, where we're sort of just sitting outside the 8, but we just fall short sort of thing. I don't see us competing for the top 8. Maybe at the end of the season we have a good run, once everyone's sort of gelled together a bit more, that sort of pushes us up a bit. Maybe we can break into it, but I don't think it'll happen. I'd like it to happen, obviously, but I don't think it'll happen. This season overall, expected. It is what it is. It was a write-off. It was a write-off at the start of the year. I don't think anyone, any supporter with half a brain knew that this year was going to be a struggle. Did I think we'd get the spoon? No. Just because I personally thought the Cowboys would get the spoon. Just because, I think they were in the same situation as us. But I personally just didn't think their coach was as good. And don't get me wrong, I don't think Barrett's a great coach, but I think Payton was a worse coach. So I thought the Cowboys would get the spoon with the Bulldogs coming 15th. But, those two teams are interchangeable this year. They were both dreadful. So, yeah. Overall, like I said, wooden spoon expected. Good structures being put in place in attack, but defence obviously needs an overhaul again, to bring us back to how we were under Pay. And, good signings for next year. The future is looking bright. As painful as this year was, it was a building block for the next 3 to 4 years, which I think is the key for the Bulldogs. Any Bulldogs supporter that is expecting us to be making top 8 and competing next year, I think is a bit blinded by just the excitement of the signings. I think if we're being realistic, like I said, we'll be in that 10 to 12 range. And then in 2023, we'll be fighting for the top 8. Now, that's just how I see it personally. Whether Barrett's there to do that, I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah, the future looks bright. And that's all that matters. But, yeah, so with that is my Bulldogs season review. Let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know if there were things you think I missed or things that you think I should add if I were to do, other teams' reviews. And then let me know if you want me to do season reviews for other teams, because like I've said, I just love talking rugby league. I'll happily talk about any team. Yeah, so let me know if you want me to do season reviews for other teams. Let me know if there are things you think I should add, things I should take out. Like maybe you thought I rambled on too long about something, which is understandable. I am a bit of a rambler, like I'm doing right now. But yeah. Also, I got a comment asking me about like Chad Townsend moving to the Cowboys. And I'd like to talk about that, but I don't want to make just a video on that, if that makes sense. So like, small things like that, if you want me to talk about them, leave them in the comments, and if I get 4 or 5 good ones, I might just make a video, like just talking through each one. Because like, just for something for me to do, honestly. Like, I just enjoy doing it. I love talking footy. And yeah, it'd be nice for me to do. But yeah, with that said, guys, again, that's the review. Yeah, if you want to see more, let me know. If you want to see a specific team, let me know, and I might do that team next. If you guys want me to. But yeah, with that, guys, take it easy, and yeah, have a good one.